Hi everyone, it's about 4 a.m. here in Germany. There's a little bit of action already going on in our hotel room. You'll see Noah over there. How are you, buddy?
I'm good.
You good? And then Evie's down here. This is actually my third take because Evie's butchered the last couple with a few little issues she's had. So I've been getting a lot of messages asking how Lou's going, so I apologise for not responding to any. I got knocked down by a virus, so I started feeling unwell Saturday morning, and I don't know what happened, but it got me real good. So I've been in bed for 2 days, and I just had a few massive sort of feverish sweats, and it seemed to have brought me back to life, which is good. So I'm out of bed and up and feeling reasonably okay for the first time in a while. I normally adjust to the time zones really well. But I think just being sick has messed me up a little bit. And obviously my immune system must have been down. I mean, the kids decided to sleep at different times on the plane on the way over. Noah sort of slept the first part. Evie was sort of all excited and busy for a while. And then Evie sort of slept the end of the first leg, and then she slept the whole of the second leg where Noah was awake then. So I didn't really get any sleep on the way over, but I wasn't complaining. The kids travelled so well and they did everything I asked of them. So while I was wrecked upon arrival, I was happy that we got through it without any issue. When we did arrive, Evie decided to wake up at 1:30 a.m. She does this thing where she grabs onto the side of my face and looks into my eyes, puts her nose against my nose and looks into my eyes to see if they're open in the dark. And so when she was doing this at about 1:30 the night we arrived, I knew I was fucked. And when Evie gets up, it's different to Noah. Noah, I can give him the iPad or a computer or a laptop or something like that. I'll turn the TV on and he's good for a few hours. But Evie doesn't really work like that. So between 1:30 and 6:30 a.m. Evie had tried on every single one of her outfits that she brought, and she brought more clothing than Noel, myself and Lou combined. He also had to play dollies. She managed to smuggle 3 dollies over here, and she also convinced Grandma to buy her another one at the Qatar airport. So when we're in transit, so all that night, when I should have been catching up on sleep, I was busy with the kids, and when you're in a hotel room with Lou in the other room, you want to try and keep the noise disruption to a minimum. So I was unbuttoning and buttoning outfits for her and the dollies, but that's what you get for being a parent, I guess. Everyone can empathise with that. And I guess I'm just not as tough as I used to be. So a couple of nights without any sleep can bring you down, and that with the virus. So we arrived on Thursday, Arvo, and we had our first appointment. I'll get you some clothes in a sec. See, there we go. 2 minutes and I'll get you some clothes. So we arrived on Thursday afternoon, and then it was that Friday morning we had our 8 a.m. we had our first consult with Professor Vogel, and she'd finished her first treatment by midday that day. He did a thing called transarterial chemomobilisation, which is a sort of regional chemotherapy. He focused on just half the liver, so he doesn't compromise the other half and damage or I guess render it in any way, or compromise in any way. So he goes in through the femoral artery of the leg, and then he can get up and access through that artery. You can get up and access and flood those tumours with a cocktail of drugs. So we don't know. I won't know until the scans probably next Thursday that he does, and if it had any immediate effect. I assume we find out pretty quickly. But and then on that same day, on the Thursday, he'll do the other half of the liver. So fingers crossed that really direct response will have an effect on I guess that organ in Lou's body that poses the biggest risk to her. So we're seeing another doctor this morning at 10 a.m, Dr. Arnhold. Dr. Arnhold is going to be focusing on Lou's whole body, where Vogel's just focusing on specific regional areas. In regards to Lou's condition right now, I think she has the same virus I have, which is not fun for her, and I guess it's not very fair either. It's the last thing she needs when she's had just such a shit time. So, but she seems to have all the same symptoms that I had with this virus. And I guess in some ways I hope it is the virus and not a response to the treatment. I mean, being sick the last few days reminds me of how hard it is to actually do things when you're really unwell. I haven't been sick for a long time. I didn't get sick at all in the last Australian winter, so it just reminded me of just how tough it is to keep moving forward. And I've always had this goal with Lou while she's been going through treatment, is to make sure that she has more better days than bad days. And up until September this year, we've managed to do that. But since about the second week of September, that hasn't been the case. I mean, she's only had very, very few good days in the last few months, just a handful. So I guess it was good for me just to try to look at the positives here, but it's good for me to know when you're sick just how difficult it is, and she's been like that now for months. So, but you know, it gives me empathy and perspective, but also it makes sure that I've got to keep pushing her along. I mean, when you can't move, you've got to be carried until you can sort of crawl again. So, and that's our job as a family, to keep her moving along and push her to keep moving. And while we feel sorry for her, we just got to keep her focused. But as I said, the main thing is we got here without any issues. Lou travelled with her mum up the front of the plane, and I was up the back with the kids. Just they didn't even know that we were on the same flight. I'm glad that they're busy now and not listening to this, because I'd get in trouble. So the kids didn't even know that her mama was on the same plane. The night she arrived, she started to get a huge amount of pain in the liver and the back. And she had a really rough night the first night we got here. And that morning she was in a lot of pain. She was crying out for me to come and help her get up out of bed, and obviously the kids came in, followed me in there, and Lou tries to shield the pain from the kids, so she doesn't like it, and it's fair enough that she doesn't like it when the kids see her in a whole lot of pain. So they did see her crying and clenching her side and her liver and her back region. And Noah just sort of goes straight in there and cuddles her and holds onto where she saw her and just says, "Mama, mama." And you can tell he sort of feels like he's a little bit, he's a bit helpless, I guess, seeing her in so much pain. And it's sort of how we all feel, I guess. We feel a bit helpless that she's in this condition. So, but as I said, I mean, our goal was to get to Frankfurt without any issue. Shh, hang on one sec, Puff. Our goal was to get to Frankfurt without any issue, and I do believe we're in the best place in the world for her current situation right now. So fingers crossed that her condition will start to improve under the focused, specific treatment and daily treatment. I'll get you something to eat. Okay, I'll get you something. So my guess is she'll be having daily. My guess is she'll be having some daily treatment. Pretty much from now on, and hopefully. Hang on, you can't wake up Grandma. It's way too early. Just give me 2 minutes, and then we'll do some stuff. So they're not awake yet. Trust me, they're not awake. So speaking of, just give me 2 minutes. So speaking of, I'm going to wrap this up. So speaking of Grandma and Grandpa, we're really lucky to have them here. I'm gonna do another post later. See you guys.